This episode of Count It Out with Mike and Tyler is provided by Cottage Springs.
What's poppin'? It's the Bushetoist baddie, Hollywood Haley J, and you're watching Count It Out.
You are listening to Count It Out with Mike and Tyler.
Well, we are live, pals, and welcome to another edition of the Bill After Seal of Approve, Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. And of course, this episode is provided by our good friends at Cottage Springs. Mike, what's going on, dude?
Another day, man. Just another day. Living the life. What can I say?
Yeah, we got a big episode this week. Got an interview we're gonna play with I conducted late last year with one of the many stars of the Netflix reality show The Wrestler. We're gonna hear from the amazing Maria today. What a wonderful woman she is. I just had such a great time talking to her, and I really like to. You'll hear one because you haven't heard this interview yet either, Mike. What,
No.
once you finish hearing it, like you're just gonna want more. And maybe she's someone that we reach down to and try to get a proper hour with her because there's just we barely scratch the surface.
Sure.
Great woman, great documentary. Of course, we've already heard Al Snow on the show. Haley J we have coming as well, but hers just short. So I figured let's go with a little Amazing Maria today.
Sure.
Before
Amazing
we.
the mother of Haley J, if I'm not
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. We got a lot of stuff to get to though. Do you want to do the interview first? Do you want to do Cottage Springs first? What are you feeling?
You know what, man? I don't think we're going to do this every week, but it felt so good last week. Let's do it again. Let's start her off with our punch out.
And now, the Cottage Springs Punch-Out of the Week. Find your favorite flavors at cottagesprings.ca. That's right, folks. It is time for our Cottage Springs Punch-Out of the Week. And gonna have to go ahead and pull out my new favorite drink from Cottage Springs right now. These Springers are absolutely phenomenal. We're getting a little bit of nice weather this week. And I got into some Springers while I was cleaning the garage out today. Let me tell you, these things are dangerous. Like, I'm going to have a blast all summer in the backyard with Max the dog running around, and I'll probably end up in his dog pool with them because these are a good time.
Now, they Cottage Springs specifically made these smaller cans because of the alcohol content and everything else. When you're drinking these, do you feel like Andre the Giant?
I was just going to say, I am Andre the Giant. Let me drink 400 beers today. Yes, I do feel like Andre the Giant.
These things will kick your butt.
Yeah, and what I like about these two is they've got like this great flavor to it, but they're 7% also. And it's just like, let's go.
Let's
go. And you know what I love too about like our friendship with Cottage Springs here is that this is just how we talk on the show every week. Like we love Cottage Springs. I don't even feel like I'm shilling things. Like
we've been talking like this for 2 years, since I think it was like halfway through the pandemic when you actually texted or called me and said, "Have you had these Cottage Springs? Because you and the boys at your old job were drinking them." And I said, "No, I'm like, I've never had them." He goes, "Well, you like White Claws? If you like White Claws, you'll never drink a White Claw again after you drink a Cottage Springs." I remember you telling me that, and you weren't lying, man. I spent the next summer. I bought them. They sell them in these like 1 liter like boxes.
mm-hmm.
They sell their waters in these. I know you know. I'm telling our listeners. They sell them in boxes, and you can. It's got a spout, and you can just pour them. I would go through a box in a day. It was dangerous.
Well, for anyone
I believe it was one of those boxes that put me in the state I was in one of our Canada Day shows.
That's correct. I was going to say, too, for anyone that's questioning our love for Cottage Springs, go back and check out our SummerSlam live show on Instagram when I drank all the Cottage Springs and don't remember recording the show. So drink responsibly, kids. I was in my backyard. Everything was fine.
Yes.
But yeah, so I'm going to enjoy a nice Springer here, the Springers with an S. And I'm going to let you go ahead and have our Cottage Springs punch out of the week.
I haven't made my way to the LCBO this week, but I can't wait to get my hands on one of those Springers or one of the other the new products they have, the punch-ups. The
Punch-ups are great. Yeah, punch-ups are great.
Can't wait to grab my hands on one of these. And speaking of the punched-ups, it's time for the punch-out. And I think we're going to this past Friday on SmackDown. And we're going to talk about that big segment right in I'm going to say the middle of SmackDown, where Solo and Jimmy Uso were in the middle of the ring with the wise man Paul Heyman, and stuff went down, man. It went nasty. So for those of you who haven't seen it, this is how it went down. Solo basically told the wise man that losing equals consequences. Jimmy lost at WrestleMania, and so did the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. Even though Solo is like 0-34 right now, but I think we're supposed to forget that.
He beat John Cena.
True. So Solo is taking the reins, no pun intended, and he said some things are going to have consequences. He stared down his brother Jimmy. Jimmy was very confused. They hugged. He says, "I'm your brother. I love you." And that's when a mysterious figure from the crowd jumped in, showed himself to be Tama Tonga, one of Japan's biggest stars. I don't care what anybody says. A lot of people are like, "Oh, who's this guy? What has he done?" Go watch New Japan for the last 15 years.
He's one of the founding fathers of the Bullet Club.
100% he is. He jumps in, he attacks Jimmy, and they go to town on this man. Like, they destroyed Jimmy Uso in this segment. It was crazy. But what I love about this is it didn't end there. It kind of went through the rest of SmackDown, where obviously the wise man, Paul Heyman, he didn't know about this. He didn't know what was going on. He tried to reach Roman Reigns via phone. So stole the phone and smashed it. So you're wondering, did Roman Reigns have anything to do with this or not? Solo at one point says this is from order of the Tribal Chief, but is he talking about Roman Reigns or is he talking about himself? Is he talking about The Rock?
That's what I would like to see that lead into War Games this summer or this fall. I think that we got a lot of miles to go here. I think we see the debut of Jacob Fatu coming soon, and then you've got this showdown where I think Roman comes back and gets the Usos back together. I think this is what's gonna. I think he's gonna be like the Bret Hart to when he got Owen and the Bulldog back together.
Yeah,
and I think that needs to happen.
And I wasn't for it at first when you mentioned it to me off air, but now I'm, especially since Monday night on Raw, which we'll talk about later. I'm all for the idea of Sami Zayn being part of this as well.
Yeah, I think you have The Rock heading up this new group with Solo and Jacob and Tama Tonga against the original bloodline with Sami Zayn. Everyone's like, "Whoa, put Cody in there." Why? No, he doesn't need to go in there. Put Seth in there. No. Seth and Roman need to have a match still.
Yeah. No, I like the idea of Sami being in there. I wasn't sold at first. I think Sami's moved on from this, but seeing him and Jay together on doing that little segment on Raw, right there, I was like, okay, yeah, I want to see these guys together again.
They're family, man. They are. Yeah, they're family. I love this. I love this for your punch out of the week. I think it's a great segment. I'm really excited to see what Tama Tonga does in the WWE. I'm even more excited to see when Roman comes back now.
Yeah.
That's something I didn't know I was going to be excited about because, like, I don't know. It's Roman. Like, yeah, he lost the title, and all of a sudden I'm more interested in him now than when he had the title for the last 6 months. So exciting stuff. WWE is hitting home runs.
Chase is always more exciting than the grab. and and I think Cody knows that better than anybody.
Do you think we get Rock and Do you think we get Rock and Cody at SummerSlam with Roman making his return and costing The Rock the match?
Yeah, that could definitely happen. That could definitely happen. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, that is a great choice for your Cottage Springs Punch Out of the Week, and I will cheers to that.
Now, before we move on to the rest of the news, sticking with the Tama Tonga subject, I have a question for you.
Yes.
And I wanted it separate from the Punch Out of the Week. A lot of people are coming on saying, well, shouldn't have Tama gone to NXT for a bit first, learn the WWE way? Only a small select few have gotten to skip NXT and not and not had to do that. And a lot of people don't think that Tama Tonga is a big enough name to be able to do that. I want to know your opinion. My opinion, 100%, it would have ruined this whole thing if Tama Tonga was in NXT even for the last 3-4 weeks and then did this. The shock value is diminished by 60%.
Yeah,
big time. Also, Tama Tonga has worked everywhere except for WWE.
Yes.
I think he might have some things to learn when it comes to television, but he knows how to work the product. It's not like he only knows how to work the Japanese style or he only knows how to work the Mexican style. This man knows everything. He's extremely talented in the ring.
Who's one of his best friends? Carl Anderson.
Yes.
You don't think Carl Anderson's been giving him pointers and notes and, hey, do this, this is what they liked? Of course he has.
For sure.
By the way, I heard the funniest story about Luke Gallows today. I got caught in a rabbit hole of listening to Talking Shop clips. Yeah. And the Young Bucks were with them talking about Rocky Romero's wedding. So it was on the call. It was the Young Bucks, Gallows, Anderson, and Rocky. And they were like, yeah, Gallows left the wedding for a Tinder date. Can you imagine? He left going, I just thought it was so funny. I love Gallows.
That sounds like something our good friend Wilson would do.
Wilson would bring the Tinder date.
Wilson would leave your wedding for a Tinder date.
Wilson would leave the wedding and come back with the Tinder date. And
yes.
Something else. Who knows?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oof. All right, let's talk about the big news.
Since you mentioned the Young Bucks, let's start there, I guess.
Before we get into this, I don't want to waste the whole show talking about this because
there's not a whole lot to talk about, man.
Can we both agree this was really dumb?
Yes. We knew it was going to be dumb before it happened, but then it was just it was dumber than I even expected. All they did was reinstate everything that CM Punk said in his interview. Honestly, I think there's only one winner who came out of this whole thing, and that's Jack Perry.
Yeah, I mean, he was over.
Because Jack's able to use this for his scapegoat character.
Yeah, but I mean, how far can this really take him?
I don't know.
There's no payoff. There's no match with Punk.
No, there's not.
So you're what? They're going to bring him back and put him with the Young Bucks and Okada, maybe?
Okay, and that's going to be good for a week and a half.
Or does he come back? Does he come back and just he's on his own like a lone wolf? Like I don't know how long. Like I get it, he's the cool kid in the classroom right now, but I don't know how long that's going to last.
Everybody's saying that he came off like this like the second coming of Stone Cold Steve Austin in Chicago the other night. I heard more CM Punk chants than I did anything else.
Well, but that's what the whole gimmick is going to be.
Yeah.
I thought it made the Young Bucks look really weak as well because they got distracted by this big event and they couldn't fight properly.
Yeah.
So you now let CM
and that's what Tony is using to justify it. Tony went on some show, I think it was
I saw that.
Afternoon, was it? Maybe.
Yeah.
And basically said, no, it makes sense because now it explains why they lost FDR. Really?
This is the first time that I'm going to make this comparison, and I hope it's the last time, but I really felt like I was watching WCW Nitro from 1999 Van Landen might have loved this then, but I just like even like FTR's promo, like it
I'll
all like
go.
Tony
I'll go one farther.
they
I
set the
felt that was.
line.
I'll go one farther. I felt like I was watching the Retribution debut.
Okay, we don't say the R word on the show, all right? I don't care how bad an angle is. We don't say the R word on the show. But I don't know if you picked up on it. I think it was Shivani who said it, and I just like, oh my god! And John Pollock, I got to give him credit. I didn't pick up on it originally. He did. When FTR came out, they dropped the line. Wait a minute, this isn't on our format sheet. And
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my god, this is WCW 1999. Like to me, it was like a finger poke of doom moment. Like it just, I just don't.
Shivani's so smart too, because he covered his ass so big on his own podcast.
Yeah,
Because he looked embarrassed on air. He looked dreadfully embarrassed. And he did a great job. Obviously, he wants to keep his job. Obviously, he doesn't want to get in shit with Tony and the rest. So he flat out said, "Oh no, I'm having a problem with the Young Bucks right now. My character is being fined every week, and I don't like the Young Bucks. So that's my look of whatever the Young Bucks do."
yeah. I
Cover,
mean,
Tony. Good
may,
cover.
maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe he's not. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
It's all stupid. I don't. It doesn't add anything to this angle. It just takes away the shine from everything. I didn't even know these guys were having a ladder match. I just knew they were fighting. I didn't know it was a ladder match.
I didn't know until this very second.
Um, Also, like, yeah, I don't know. Let's move on. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I got nothing, and I just, yeah, I got nothing. Let's move on.
Well, Raw was in Montreal last night.
Yeah, good show.
I didn't get to see it all, but from experience, the best shows I've ever seen are in that city. All right.
Future Barry Wrestling Hall of Famer next month at We Are the Wolves. Matt Burns was a security guard on Raw.
No kidding.
Yeah, he was holding back Rhea Ripley there.
Good for Matt. Yeah. So what happened at Raw last night? Rhea dropped her title.
Yeah, she had to forfeit it. Looks like she's got a shoulder injury.
Looks like she hurt. Was it her shoulder? I heard it was her collarbone.
I'm not too sure. I heard it was a joint. So.
Oh, okay. So
but really unfortunate because she was having a great run, and as we're going to talk about later in my list, top 7 Damien Priest career moments so far. Judgment Day really was about to go on another big tear here with Rhea with the women's championship and Damian with the world championship. But that's a tough break for her. She's doing some incredible work.
And once again, for the second time in 5 minutes, I'm going to call out stupid wrestling fans. A lot of people are mad because they vacated the title when people are saying, well, Roman barely ever, defended his title, and they gave him time when he was dealing with his cancer and blah, 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 but they can't give Rhea a couple months. You people, just, there's no such thing as a big picture to you people. You drive me fucking nuts. Look, what is better for Rhea, especially with the way she was turning her character slowly face anyways? What would be better for her? To disappear with that title, not think about the title for 3 months and have her come back and all of a sudden, remember, I'm the champion. Or for her to come back as the biggest babyface in the company and go gunning for that title. What is better for her character? What is better for Rhea Ripley?
It's also better for Liv Morgan's character right now too, who's doing a nice little heel turn. So it's there's going to be a good setup when she comes back.
Yeah, this is and I mean every word that I just said. When Rhea comes back, she has the potential to be the biggest babyface in WWE.
Yeah, at least in the top 2, because Cody's going to be tough to beat right now. But
well, as long as the Cody chill doesn't happen,
I don't think it will right now. Everything's going good.
Yeah, I hope not. It just you know how fickle fans can be, and it's almost like they want to turn on him now because it's the thing to do.
I will not be one of those fans. I will be opening my invitation up even further for Cody and Brandy to come to Wonderland.
Yeah, baby.
But
my son actually just said to me today, he goes, "Dad, can we go to Wonderland soon? I've never been to Wonderland," and he really wants to go. And I looked at him and said, "If Cody Rhodes wants to go, I'll take you."
I love it. Let's use your son. Pawn him off. incredible.
It works for other podcasts. It'll work for us.
Incredible footage shot of Sami Zayn making his entrance.
I just love that it all starts with Jay. That it's just one continuous shot with Jay leaving the arena and then seeing Sami there. They have a little interaction, and then you follow Sami back into the building. It's such a beautiful shot. And I said this to you last night, and I mean it. The greatest thing to happen in this new era of wrestling is the departure of Kevin Dunn. The new production style, and this was very evident at WrestleMania, is beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the way they're shooting things right now. It's the best that the product has looked in probably 10 years.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say. I think you nailed it perfectly. Just fun, exciting, different. The product feels fresh. Sing the praises, da 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 da. Like we've said it before, but like I'm really enjoying being a wrestling fan right now.
100%, man. And you know, call me a show for the WWE all you want, because I know I talk better things about WWE than I do about AEW. But I like what I like, and I'm going to tell you what I like every week on the show. For the longest time, I wasn't talking like this. In 2019, I wasn't talking like this.
Nope.
I'll tell you that much. I was pushing the Impact product, and right now TNA is not quite meeting my expectations.
They've been good. They're still solid old TNA.
They've been all right, but they're just not. I feel like they've lost a couple steps.
Yeah, just Scotty hurt still.
Oh, maybe.
But
yes, very possible.
I mean, like even with AEW, as much as we give them a hard time, when I'm looking at my end of the year list right now, like I'm almost certain that there's already 2 moments that are going to be on my list that are both AEW related. We're still getting good moments from them. Like it's just wrestling's good right now. Even when it's bad, it's good.
Yeah, wrestling's fantastic right now. I'm loving every minute of it. I mean, I'm watching the product again. I watched SmackDown in its entirety this week. I don't now. Will I get to do that every Friday? No, I don't get Friday nights off often, especially not Friday nights off when the kids aren't here. But I took advantage of it and I watched it, and I loved every minute of it. I forgot what it was like to feel like that wrestling fan again that anticipates watching a show. Love it.
Yeah, and it's just going to keep on rolling. A lot of big shows still to come this year.
Absolutely. Is there any more news this week?
I mean, I'm sure there is, but I think I touched on everything I want to touch on. You want to go to a little interview?
I want to talk to Amazing Maria right now, man. I can't wait to hear this.
All right. Well, without further ado, here is my conversation with the Amazing Maria.
I am here, Destiny Wrestling post-match, and I am with an amazing person.
Hell yeah.
And a pretty big badass, if I say so myself.
This is kind of cool. It's a little teeny tiny.
Little guy there.
Little guy. I love it.
Somebody, usually people say size matter, but this one does the job.
Hey, you know what? That's a lie.
Right?
It's not the size of the boat. It's the motion in the ocean, baby. That's
100%. And it's
all the time.
It's because this is good with the mouth. That's all that matters, right?
Fantastic. It works.
I can't think of a better introduction than
Check
that.
1, 2.
I am here with the Amazing Maria. Maria, Netflix superstar.
My baby's a superstar.
I mean, you're right there with her.
I'm just here.
You're right there with her. Let's talk about the show.
Okay.
When you first heard about this show, did you have any idea that it would blow up and be as successful as what it
Hell
is?
no. The Netflix show?
The Netflix show.
Hell no. You know how wrestling is. Like, they always tell you, hey, big things is coming, big things is coming, big things is coming. And then you do a little thing and then, whoop. You know what that was? That was the rug.
Right on there.
You know what I mean? It's my fancy boots. Sorry.
I
Squirrel.
love it.
But yeah, no, I had no idea. No idea.
Now, you're old school, right? You've been
100%.
And was that tough for you guys and Al as well? Maybe because I know he's old school to open up the dressing room to
Man,
that
I
kind
didn't
of
like
access.
it. Ooh, I didn't like it. They're in there and we're trying to put makeup on, talk about things, and they're like, right here. Pretend we're not here. I'm like, you're right here.
So are there any moments though, like maybe any awkward moments where you guys had to be like, guys, like, come on, like what? Any specific stories you can think about?
Nah, we were pretty open and honest about everything. There may have been a couple. I'm gonna need you to shut this off. We gotta have a conversation moments, just because it's my kid. We argue more than anybody, you know what I mean? It's my kid, so.
Something that really came across in the show you're kind of like the mom of the locker room. It kind of looked like you knew when to be there for support. You knew when to lay an ass whooping down when it needed to be. Is that something that you take pride in and coaching the next generation that's coming up?
I do. All I want is for the girls and the guys, of course, to succeed. But like, they also need. I'm a hard ass. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be hard on them. But I want them to know if shit gets real, they can come to me, and they know they can come to me. The deal with Jake, he got arrested, you know, and like I went and picked him up from jail and was like, all right, bud. He's like, am I fired? I'm like, yeah, it's a tough situation. You're fired, you know. And then I'd sit there and let him have his moment in my car because that's what we do.
I think it's so important to have that attitude in life in general.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Firm but fair.
Yeah.
We can't all just walk around and do whatever we want. There's
Facts.
got to be repercussions,
Yep.
but there's got to be love behind those repercussions.
And I tell everybody, you know what? You can do anything you want to do. Everything comes with a consequence. So you can do whatever you want to do as long as you're willing to pay the consequence, good or bad, for what you do.
Let's talk about Al Snow a little bit.
Whoa.
And everything.
Alfred. I call him Alfred. It's great. He gets real mad.
I won't tell Alfred that you guys had a longer merch line than him tonight.
Oh, yeah, don't.
Grades. I won't tell him that.
Don't tell him. Albert, if you're watching, your line was way bigger. Swear.
How much fun has it been for you to learn from Al and to step into that role? You know, as kind of one of the locker room leaders in there under him.
It's so fantastic. Like literally, I've been at OVW since 2014, I think. So I was at OVW pre-Al Snow. So Nightmare Danny Davis, you know what I mean? Like he's the man. And then when Al bought it and everything, I was still wrestling. And then I kind of went away for a little bit. Pandemic happened. Everybody went away. And then they decided that they were going to come across the bridge into Indiana to where we were wrestling at our arena. And one of the other partners talked to me and he was like, so you want to come back as more of a backstage hand? And he's like, you know, you get to learn from Al, you get to handle the women. And I'm like, fuck yeah, hell yeah, let me do that. So since 2020, I have been under Al's learning tree and it's been fantastic. Like fantastic. He has such a great mind. His mind for professional wrestling is amazing. No pun intended.
Let's talk about the success of the show. How have things been different in your life since this show has aired?
My life, not much.
No? I feel like you're getting opened up to a whole new audience. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, like, we'll go somewhere, you know, and Haley's the superstar. Everybody's like, oh my God, it's Harley and AJ. And I'm like, yeah, Mom.
See, I had a pretty opposite effect. I love your daughter. She's fantastic. And she's going to be a superstar. She already is a superstar.
Yes,
but she's going to go to that
They made a door.
She's got a door out of her.
I didn't get a door.
I didn't know
I did not get a door.
I didn't know you were going to be here today.
It was
and
a surprise.
when I saw you, I was like, holy shit, I got to get an interview. I got to get an interview with you.
It was a surprise.
Yeah.
You watched the show, right?
100%.
Didn't think I was going to make it across the border.
Well, I'm glad you got here.
But I made it.
Pumped out. You guys killed it tonight. It was fantastic. Let's talk about Haley.
Okay.
We have to.
We got to.
You guys had one of the most heartfelt stories, you know, not even in a wrestling ring, but just in general, you know, very open you guys were about your history and how you guys have come together, the death match. What was that experience like for you? Like, was that kind of like healing between you guys a little bit? Or?
A little bit, yeah. And like so Haley's whole life, I've been 100% like honest with her about everything. Like, you know, when she left at 16, 17, she chose to do that. That was her choice. I didn't tell her she had to leave home. You know what I mean? So, again, every choice comes with a consequence. The choices you make have repercussions. And I was always that mom that, like, you do what you think you got to do. I'm going to do what I need to do. And if you need to come home, all you have to do is say, Mom, I need to come home. You know what I mean? But she is, and I tell people this, and they're like, no way. And I'm like, yeah, 100% carbon copy of her mother. I left home at 16, thought I was grown, didn't, you know, my daddy couldn't tell me nothing. You know what I mean? So I get it. And when she chose that path, I let her take it. I let her take her own path. That's her path to take. So there were some things that, like, she has resentment for. And like I said in the interview, those are things that she's got to work out. Like, I can only apologize for my part. You know, it's up to her whether to forgive me or forgive herself or anything like that. And I always knew she was going to wrestle. Come on. I love my dad to death. You know, I left my dad when I was 16. My dad took care of me and my brother, and I'm like, you know? So I didn't grow up until I was probably 26, 27. Like, I literally, I had my son at almost 19. I had her at almost 21. So I was, first of all, I was still a child, baby having babies, right? And then left home at 16, had babies at almost 19 and 21. Whole down place in Kentucky, no jobs, no nothing. Like, started selling drugs. I'm like, I have to take care of my kids, man. You know what I mean? So then when I went to jail, she was like 2 when I went to jail. And then I went back to jail for 2 months when she was 7. And she was in a bad situation then, you know. But when I found out about it, even from jail, I removed her from that situation and put her in a different place. Just the lady was just really mean to her.
Yeah.
Like, you know, she loved my son, but every time I would call and try to talk to Haley, she would be like, tell her Haley's asleep. And I wouldn't even get to talk to Haley, you know.
That's
like,
gotta be so hard.
yeah. And it was just, she had boys, and she was supposed to be my friend. You know what I mean? We were football moms together. And I just literally thought that, like, Haley was asleep or this and that. And then finally, like, when I would call and Haley stuck away and grabbed the phone, she's like, Mom, she's being mean to me. So I removed them from that situation. You know what I mean? But she, you know, she had some resentments, and I fully understand those. We've talked about them. Like I said, I can only apologize for my part in it. And then how she goes from that point on is on her. And the whole culmination of her coming back into wrestling, when she got robbed, like they showed it on the series, she called me and she was like, Mom, my house just got ran up in. I was like, it's time to get the fuck out. Like, it's time to move, like, come home. She's like, well, I don't want to live with you. I'm like, that's fine. We'll get you an apartment, same complex, you know what I'm saying? So I went to the office, got her an apartment, same complex. She moved to Indiana, started training, and off to the races she's been. So, you know, and then the whole culmination of the match itself, I was like, listen, if we tell a good story, people will be crying in the arena.
It's true.
And people were crying.
100%.
Like, if you watch, they were like just looking in tears, and it was amazing. It's fantastic.
You could feel how real it was.
Yeah.
You know, like it had that layer to it that you can't quite describe.
Yeah.
But it made magical TV to watch. What's it like being in a death match with your daughter?
That wasn't a death match.
Wow, as you guys sat on the, you know, like, I know it wasn't an actual death match, but you guys beat the hell out of each other.
We did. We would say that's a nice hardcore match. Hardcore because, you know, I mean, it was hard hitting. I let her hit me with things, you know, because here's the thing. The only real death match, and this is a little inside scoop for everybody, that Haley's going to do is going to be my very last match. So when we have a true death match, that's it for me. And then she will continue on to be great, you know, unless you get signed before then. Because
I mean, that could happen at any moment. She is amazing. She's setting the world on fire. Yeah. Proud mom vibes coming watching her do what she's doing.
Oh, 100%. I've always been the proud mom. Like, she's like, Mom, do you got to come to every practice, every football game? I'm like, yes, I do. You know, so I've always been a proud mom. So if I'm on the sidelines just watching her, I'm happy. Fantastic.
We saw you in there tonight tagging with her. We saw you guys tag together with the WOW promotion. How much fun are you having in there?
Oh, my God. It's so great. Like, we are the first ever mother-daughter to be signed to an actual contract company, okay, on TV. Mm-hmm. So, because, like, there's Soraya and Paige, but they were never signed and wrestled together. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, Paige was signed, but Soraya, you know, was over here. So, we're like literally the first ever mother-daughter to ever be signed to a contracted company.
You just mentioned a couple names there, Soraya and Soraya, you know, Tony Khan. Let's see a little tag match going here.
That's what we said. We want it so bad.
Right?
Tony Khan.
Wembley Stadium next year, right?
Yeah.
Wembley Stadium.
Oh my God, it would be great. I'll take the pin, brother. Like.
Okay, the last question I got to ask. You've been amazing with your time. This has been so much fun.
Thank you.
When you look back at everything, whether, you know, from this point to everything you've done in your career, what's something for you that just makes you smile?
Watching my kid. Like 100%. Like, I can look back at all the things I've done, everywhere I've been, and like the best thing ever is watching her do what she does because she's so fucking good.
I think that's the perfect way to end that. Haley J is so fucking good.
Haley J is so fucking good.
And the Amazing Maria is so fucking cool. On behalf of the Amazing Maria, I am Tyler, and you have been counted out.
what a absolute pleasure, and a great interview, and an even better person, the amazing Maria. I cannot speak highly enough about my backstage dealings with her, and just off-camera banter that me, her, Wilson, and Haley J had together. I just think the world of them. So I'm really glad we got to share that one finally. But now it's list time.
It's list time. I won't lie, man. When you told me you were doing this list, I was apprehensive. I was trepidatious. I didn't know. I said to myself, what can he come up with a guy that has not really been a big time guy for that long? But then I started really doing a little bit of research and I'm looking in. I'm like, you know what, man, you picked a good list.
I think I did too.
And especially, and remind me, I believe I'm correct, but remind me, you are going back to the Punishment Martinez days, right?
Correct. This is going to be his whole career, so we're going to include the
so we're
Punishment
going-
Martinez days.
So we do get to talk some ROH today.
Possibly.
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 All right, man.
Possibly.
Well, I'm excited here. I mean, just the things I have things to list off, but you're probably going to talk about them on the list. So
Yeah.
let's just go.
This was a fun little list to put together and go back and watch some of these moments. But I'm going to start off with my number 7, and I'm going to take us back to NXT, and it's Damien Priest winning the ladder match to become the North American champion.
Yeah.
Now, this match was good. I went back and watched most of it. I think this match could have been lower on the list if it wasn't pandemic era wrestling. I think that hurt a little bit, especially in a ladder match. I think that crowd intensity always brings ladder matches to the next level. But I mean, take a look at the people in this match now, and it's like, where are they now? It's like Bronson Reed just won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Johnny Gargano, #1 contender for the tag titles, right? Cameron Grimes is, he's kind of dipped off a little bit. And this guy Valentine Dream, whatever, we'll just skip over him. But we're not
going to skip over him. When he was there, he was amazing.
Yeah,
I'm not going to pretend like his career wasn't worth something. I loved Velveteen Dream in NXT.
Yeah, he wasn't my cup of tea. He was entertaining. He put on some good matches for sure, but
absolutely he did.
He just wasn't.
All right.
There's only one Purple Rain in my world, and that's Prince, baby. But yeah, I mean, I just thought this was a foreshadowing for what was to come with him. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Number 6. All right, we'll go back to Ring of Honor. We got Punishment Martinez defeating Silas Young for the Ring of Honor World Television Championship.
I was hoping this was going to be in your list. Okay, good.
Yeah, this was a big moment for him. This was his first coming out party. This was like, you just saw this big guy that was kind of working with Kevin Sullivan and BJ Whitmer and that Carino food for a bit there, but what could he do? Like, well, what's he all about? And yeah, man, he just started showing what he was all about. And then he dropped the title really quickly to Jeff Cobb and was on his way to WWE. But the title reign wasn't overly spectacular, but this was a big moment in his career.
In there, though, he had a great match with Chris Sabin.
He did. He had a couple great matches in there. But yeah, this was like the preview of what was to come for the career of this young man. And fantastic stuff.
I want to take a quick offshoot there. Just to say, I don't think we talk enough about Silas Young on this show.
Yeah.
That man's a beast. He's
good.
So good. Silas Young is so good.
Just try to reach out to him, get him on the show.
I'd love to.
All right, number 5. Let's take us back to SummerSlam. 2021, he defeats Sheamus for the United States Championship.
Okay. I don't really remember this match very well.
Hard-hitting match in front of a big crowd. This is when you could really see the plans that they had for him. This was his first big singles moment because he'd done the stuff with Bad Bunny at WrestleMania before that with the Miz and Morrison and whatnot. But this was like his first main roster singles push. And, he had a decent little run with the U.S. title. He got hurt somewhere around here as well and had to miss some time. So he really lost some of that momentum. But I mean, it's almost impossible to have a bad match with Sheamus. And Damien Priest is a hell of a worker as it is. So obviously these guys had a great match.
Sheamus, by the way, made his return to on Raw last night.
Old music.
Bringing back his old music.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
I was pretty pumped up about that. All right. Next on the list, we are going to, what am I on, number 4 now? We are going back to the Payback pay-per-view of last year, and it is Damien Priest and Finn Balor defeating Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the World Tag Team Championships.
This is a phenomenal match.
Yeah, these guys beat the hell out of each other.
And big moment for the Judgment Day. Like this is one of the things that elevated this stable.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, it was. It really goes to show because, like, I mean, it's not really too hard to predict what my top couple moments are going to be, right? But if you take a look at the time frame of all these, all in the year, like the last year and a half, really, really gets me excited to see what the future holds for this guy. If his best career moments are happening right now and we're living in these moments at this period, man, what's he got in store as a champ?
I didn't hate his original face run.
That was fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
White meat baby face.
And his upcoming face run is going to be tremendous.
Oh, yeah.
But I think we can both agree that the Judgment Day saved his career.
Yes.
I think so. I'm not going to say he was floundering, but he was getting towards floundering. I don't think they knew what to do with him. Going into the Judgment Day, I think saved him. And gave him something really proper. And man, and I don't think it was ever that idea. I think they wanted, once they kicked Edge out, I think they wanted Finn to be the leader. And then Damian was going to be that background guy. And then before you know it, Damian's taken over that leader role.
Well, they kind of all do.
True enough.
Like Rhea's a leader, Dom's a leader sometimes. Like that's what I like about this faction.
Everybody but McDonough.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, like you can really see the difference too of where he was with that US title run to where he is now. Just the confidence. Like, not that he didn't look in place or whatever, because he always looked great, but he's just a different level of performer right now.
100%. Yeah.
And we got to see that in full effect for my number 3 moment when we go back to San Juan, Puerto Rico for his match against Bad Bunny.
Love it. I'm glad this made your list.
How could it not? I think this is the biggest singles match of his career.
This was massive. And Bad Bunny, I think Logan Paul will go down as probably the greatest celebrity to be involved in professional wrestling.
I don't think he's a celebrity wrestler anymore. He's a wrestler.
But he was a celebrity who became a wrestler. He made that he ended up making that transition, but that's not how it originally started. But second to Logan Paul only, I think Bad Bunny might be the biggest celebrity, and I don't mean biggest as in fame or whatever, because he definitely is the biggest in fame. I guess because I'd never even heard of Bad Bunny until.
Neither have I. I know, and I talk about that to like the young kids that I used to work with. I'm like, I don't know, some Bad Bunny guy. Like, what? Bad Bunny's a wrestler? Like, he's literally one of the biggest musicians in the world.
Okay, but look, you can't call him bigger than look at some of the like Snoop Dogg and Lil Wayne and stuff like that. There's no way.
What is this? The year like 2002?
You're telling me that Snoop Dogg's not a bigger star than Bad Bunny?
Yeah, I'm telling you that Bad Bunny is a bigger celebrity than, like, a bigger musician than Snoop Dogg. I didn't say better. I said big. Listen, I like Snoop Dogg.
Everybody knows who Snoop Dogg is. Everybody knows who Snoop Dogg is.
I'm pretty sure that you and I are in the minority of Bad Bunny here, my friend. We are the old boys that do not catch these young trends.
Yes,
but Bad Bunny has won a million Grammys.
Here's the thing. Only young people know Bad Bunny. Old people and young people know Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, okay, if we're talking about, like, as a person, but I'm talking about his account, like
we're talking about celebrity status.
I still think Bad Bunny,
celebrity status. Snoop Dogg is one of the biggest names in the world.
Yeah, okay, but like he's Snoop Dogg. I don't know.
He's Snoop Dogg.
But Bad Bunny is Bad Bunny is the biggest celebrity to wrestle in the WWE. To
wrestle, sure.
But like even like no celebrity has been in their prime as popular as Bad Bunny is and wrestling. Because everybody would be like, you cannot do that. All the PR people,
no, you're right.
like it's a career killer to most people. Bad Bunny though, like look at his Spotify numbers. Look at his
maybe Mayweather.
Mayweather was pretty big too, but Bad Bunny's a bigger star than Mayweather. But first of all, Mr. T is the greatest celebrity wrestler of all time, and I pity you for not having him.
And he was in his prime.
Pity that fool. He was in his prime. Different world in the 80s, though.
You know, he loves his mama.
I've heard that. Well, I think I don't have a segue. I thought I was going to have a segue for that, and I don't. So let's just go to my number 2. It is Senior Money in the Bank.
Baby, it had to be.
Winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. Up until last week, or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was now, last week, the biggest moment in his career. I was not a fan of the decision to put the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Neither was I originally.
I didn't get it. I was like, why him? I wasn't one of the guys that was like LA Knight. Like I didn't want it to be on LA Knight either.
I don't know if I wanted it to be anybody in that ring.
Yeah,
I remember being a little off put from the people they picked for that match.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite Money in the Bank either, but looking at it now, it was the right choice.
100% it was the right choice.
He's got me excited. I'm excited to see where we go with him. This is a huge opportunity for him, and it segues obviously into my number 1, which is no question.
I feel sorry for whoever grabs that briefcase in Toronto in July.
Yeah, he had a good Money in the Bank run.
Because whoever has that briefcase next has big shoes to fill.
If we were to do like a top 7,
that was one of the best runs that a briefcase holder has had.
If we were to do a top 7 like Money in the Bank like briefcase holders of all time, which maybe I'll do this year, he would make my list 100%.
For sure.
Probably in the number 4 or 5 spot, in all honesty.
Okay, I think
Right, I don't think like your Edge, your Seth Rollins, and your Dolph Ziggler's. I think they're like the cream of the crop.
Those are the greatest cash ins. Are you? I mean, was Dolph really one of the greatest holders? Did he?
Yeah, Dolph was a good holder. He did.
I go back and really watch the run.
What I like about Priest so much is that there was like, I like when there's fake, like there was attempts that were thwarted. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I like that. And we didn't get that with Edge, but Edge is like the first one. Like, but Seth had a couple.
Edge set the bar. Edge,
yeah,
deemed himself Mr. Money in the Bank.
Seth had a great Money in the Bank run too. Seth had a great Money in the Bank run because he went through that streak where he was trying to cash in, and then he was feuding with Ambrose, and Ambrose was like would stop him every time. That was like his mission. That was Seth had a fun one too.
Yeah, well, let's put a pin in that until July.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good list in July.
Yeah.
And then, of course, number 1, without a question, WrestleMania 40, the cash-in of the Money in the Bank, winning the World Championship in a fantastic segment involving Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, and a great match with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre as well. Absolutely.
Great moment for Damian all round, both on camera and behind the stage. He got a great reception from the people that he works with every day. Triple H looked really proud of him. CM Punk even came up to him and he said, at least now you don't have to carry that stupid briefcase around.
Taker came up to him.
Yeah.
Gave him props.
Yeah. So that's this is just the starting, I think, for Damien Priest, man. Like we're doing a top 7 moments list. In 2 years from now, I think we have to do this list again.
I mean, I don't hate the idea,
because I think he hasn't even scratched the surface of his potential yet. We're about to start a huge babyface run with him as champion, and I'm really interested to see where he's going to go with that. Because it's going to be a slow run. Like he's not going to turn babyface tomorrow, So he's going to do some slow heel things in the first couple defenses, most likely. I'm going to guess his first defense is Jey Uso.
Yes, so great choice. That's what a fresh main event. What a fresh main event.
Right. I wasn't a huge fan of it right away because I'm like, because I don't want Damian to lose, but at the same time, do I really want Jay losing a match? Like, I almost felt like it might slow down Jay.
If they do it
But
right, it won't.
exactly. If they do it right, everything is going to turn out right. And right now, I'm going to quote my goat CVV when he says, "In Triple H we trust." Right now, Triple H's creative has really been leading us down the right path, and I do think that he'll do things right with this.
I think I did right by this list this week as well.
Yeah, it was okay.
I have one honorable mention.
Yeah.
Survival of the Fittest 2017,
Yes.
where he defeated Flip Gordon, Silas Young, Jonathan Gresham, Shane Taylor, and Matt Taven to become the Survival of the Fittest winner.
Yeah, man. If you haven't seen Punishment Martinez in ROH, go back and watch some of this stuff, man. He's not old now, but he was young and man, could he go?
He just looked like really scary too.
He had a great look.
And they paired him up with Kevin Sullivan and BJ Whitmer against Steve Carino in that feud, and that was awesome.
Yeah. It was all very cool stuff.
Yeah, that's it for me, man. I'm out of my list and I'm almost out of my Cottage Springs, so
well, I guess that's time to take it home. And man, I haven't decided what I'm doing next week yet, but I will be coming back with at least some sort of list will be better than Tyler's this week. That's all I really care about. As long as my next list is better than Tyler's last list. That's all I really care about.
I guess you haven't lived up to your end of the bargain for 4 years then, brother.
Until then, man, thank everybody for listening this week. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching for the first time on YouTube, go down, hit that subscribe button for us. Every subscribe really helps this show. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music, hit that subscribe button as well. Until next week, my friends, on behalf of the fantastic Cottage Springs, you have been counted out.
Cheers.